So we've looked at the issues with the cycling posture and the problems that creates. Now let's look at some of the specific yoga exercises that we can use for cyclists. Kerry's going to demonstrate downward facing dog pose, but using a table. So first, push your hands down firmly on the table. And while pushing down the hands, start to drop your chest towards the floor. Okay, good. Do you want to come back up and do that again? So push down hands, so we engage the hands, and start to move the chest towards the floor. Relax the head. Okay, so this will open the shoulders. The next one is we'll do the wall clock. If we imagine there's a giant clock on the wall, and this is 12 o'clock, and 11 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock. Just imagine there's a large clock on the wall. That's why it's called wall clock. So if you start with your arm up at 12, go back to 1, and start pushing at 1. So take your feet a little wide apart, put a bend in the knees, and then find 1 o'clock. Okay. So it's important to press the hand against the wall and try and tighten the tummy slightly. And then very slowly start to turn this shoulder back. Okay, that's it. So we're stretching the pectoralis, major and minor. You'll need to hold each position for about 1 minute. But let's go to 2 o'clock. For you it's 2 o'clock. For me it's 10. And again, push with the arm and just slowly start to turn this way into the stretch. Okay, and then let's go to 3 o'clock. Horizontal, push the wall, and slowly turn. You may only turn a little bit. If you want, you can turn the head as well. Okay, good. The other position for the shoulders, you can use a towel or a piece of cloth. So we'll take this hand this way and reach up as high as you can. And having reached up as high as you can, then bend the elbow. Okay. We'll take this hand and reach down with the palm face back, reach down, and then bend the elbow. Okay. And I'm going to turn you around. And take hold of a strap and just lightly pull against the strap. This is really useful for mobilizing the scapula against the thoracic rib cage. And if we do some movements here, it'll force the thoracic rib cage to move and develop more flexibility. So just take a little bend to your left, like that, and come back up. And bend this way to me. And come back up. Take a forward bend. Okay. And back up. And a backward bend. And back up. Good. Let's change arms. That's it. So this shoulder is dropping down, and this shoulder is going up. And then side bend towards me, and breathe in to go up, and breathe out to side bend, and breathe in to come up, breathe out forward bend, and breathe in up, and breathe out to back bend. Come up. Good. Thanks, Kerry. Okay, now we'll work with the pelvic tilt and the bridge. So position yourself so the feet are 2 parallel feet. The knees are up almost over the heels. And then take a foam block, or it could be a rolled up towel, and position it under the pelvis, like that. Okay. And then, Kerry, can you then just tilt the pelvis one way and the other? Stop. So here you see what's happening is the whole back is moving into extension like this. So I'm going to ask Kerry to move the ribs down and hold the ribs down, and then do that again, tilting. Yeah, and this is starting to engage the core. And then stop halfway between the forward tilt and the backward tilt. This is neutral pelvic position. So we'll move on to the next exercise, the bridge. And we're going to enter the bridge in that neutral pelvic position. And by pushing with the legs, just come straight up. Okay. And take a breath. And exhale down. And once more. And try and hold the neutral pelvis as you come down. Okay, do 1 or 2 more. So here we have an exercise that I call crisscross. We're going to try and do this with the pelvis in a neutral position. What happens with cyclists, if the core is weak but the hip flexor is tight, the hip flexor will tend to pull the spine into extension. Can you show us that? Yeah? So from this position, if we then straighten the right leg, this happens. Come back up and show again on the left. So what's happening, just hold there, is the long hip flexor from the femur to the spine is pulling the spine up off the floor, and there's not enough control to hold the spine down. Okay, let's do it the right way. So we start here, we keep the rib downwards, we brace the core, and then we only move as far as we can with control. Okay, and come back up. That's good. Keep pushing down here. And 1 more. Okay, so we'll do wall warrior pose. The back foot is turned out diagonally. The hands are about shoulder distance apart and about shoulder height at the wall. The front foot is close to the wall. Now what I want you to do, Kerry, is if I put my hand here, push your lower ribs back. Okay, doing this, we tightening the core, and then with the shoulders, push your hands downwards on the wall, and this happens. So we make space at the upper shoulder, we connect to the strength of the core. Okay, keeping all of those, then bend the front knee. Excellent. So now we're getting a really good stretch on the hip flexor, the front of the hip. And come up. Push the hands and exhale as you bend. And come up. And push the hands, exhale as you bend. Good. And one more. So this exercise targets the iliotibial band. The iliotibial band is the strong piece of fascia that connects the outside of the tibia to the ilium here. And when this becomes very tight, you can develop severe knee problems. So position yourself close to the wall. Take a block or an object in line with your heel. And then left hand comes onto the block. And the action is to turn the shoulders to the wall. Yeah, and let's do that again, Kerry. Turn the shoulders to the wall and draw this hip backwards. Yeah, and you can then take a hand and push on the wall to increase the stretch. One more thing you can do with this is if you then take the adductors, the inside of your front leg, here, and squeeze inwards like you're pushing my hand. That makes a really big difference to the stretch. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the half fish twist. This is another stretch for the ITB, the outside of the hip, but also combines a twist and some movement of the shoulders. So first of all, Kerry tries to push down into this foot and try and push down into this knee. And then take the arm over. So she pulls this knee towards her and tries to sit this hip down to the floor. That's it. If the flexibility is there, you can go into a deeper posture. So taking the leg over, again pushing down, and pushing that hip into the floor. And then turn the shoulders. Okay. All right then. So we're going to demonstrate camel posture. This is a complete counter posture to the biking position. So biking is like this, rounded like so. We're going to take the shoulders like this, and then we're going to take the hips like this. For some people, it's going to be sore on the knees. So take something soft under the knees. Okay. Put the knees close together in line with the hips. And now the shoulders come back. Yeah. Notice we are trying to open the front of the chest. So pull shoulder blades back together. Yes. Then press the hand against the hip and press the hip back against the hand. This will engage transverse abdominis and get a solid structure in the core. Stay here, but if the flexibility is there and if you're comfortable, then you can take the head back as well. Nice. And when coming up, still press the hands and let the head come last. Okay. All right, so we're going to do an exercise in breathing. You might think it's not difficult to breathe, but there's a lot of scope in using yoga breathing techniques in athletics and in cycling. If you can develop the ability to breathe with more control, then that will help you when you get to difficult parts of your race or your training. There's a really simple technique called the ratio breath, where we make the in-breath half the length of the out-breath. Okay. It works like this. You breathe in for 2, out for 4, or breathe in for 3 and out for 6, or 4 and 8. You can choose. So I'm going to ask Kerry to just find a normal, easy breath. So just take a deep belly breath. So it's approximately 2-3 seconds. And then I'm going to count. So now breathe in for 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now relax. When we lengthen the out breath in relation to the in breath, the nervous system is affected. It brings you a calm and relaxed state immediately. This could be quite useful before an intense event, or at any time that, as an athlete, you feel the need to relax. And putting yourself into this physiological state of relaxation is really good for recovery. It'll enhance your recovery rate.